Hello everyone, this is PNG Tonight. I'm John Higgins. Coming up, disgruntled affiliates to the Papua New Guinea Trade Union Congress move to replace existing office bearers, but the General Secretary John Paske counters not so fast, describing it as illegal, and training of foreign service workers to meet new and high protocols in diplomacy as Papua New Guinea widens its relations with other countries. After years of silence, a faction of the Papua New Guinea Trade Union Congress moves to replace the existing office bearers, but General Secretary John Paske says the move is illegal. We talk to Mr. Paske later in the program, but we begin with the chairman of the new Revitalization Steering Committee, the group that's pushing for a new Congress. Thank you, Mr. Ugualubu Moana. It's one of those Milne Bay names that, wow, it's quite difficult, but we'll get it right. Am I pronouncing it right? Ugualubu Moana.
Right.
Good.
Thank you, John.
Okay. And you are the chairman now of the Revitalization Committee, I suppose, of the PNG TUC. How did they come about? Tell us about that.
Thank you very much. Last Friday, John, the trade union movement, the trade unions met at the Public Employees Association office and have resolved to recognize that the Trade Union Congress has not had its biannual Congress for almost 5 years, and then have recognized that the constituent bodies, like the affiliates, the Delegates Conference, the Executive Council, the Management Board, the Secretariat have collapsed.
Okay.
And have resolved that we need to revitalize the Trade Union Congress.
Okay.
And on that basis, John, I was elected to steer a committee that will arrive at actually having a meeting to elect the Executive Council through the Delegates Conference.
Okay, that's all legitimate? That's all by law?
Yes, and under the Article 16 of the TUC Constitution, and rules allows a special meeting to be called by the affiliates.
Yes. Well, the PNG Trade Union Congress, you're quite right. It's been silent for many years.
Definitely.
A lot of members, a lot of issues out there. So you as the, the chairman of the Revitalization Committee, what is your first role then? What is your first function you'll do?
Yeah, my immediate function as required by the unions is that we must conduct a special meeting, a special conference required under Article 16 of the TUC Constitution, and have a Congress to actually revitalize the Trade Union Congress by basically inviting all the delegates, all the unions, affiliates, the Delegate Conference delegates to come in and elect what the Constitution requires is a constituent executive board, and the executive board, the management committee, and the secretariat, and even it can appoint the auditors to the Papua New Guinea Trade Union Congress, and that has not happened over the last 5 years.
Right.
Yes.
We can go on about what you plan to do, or the new PNG TUC would do in the years to come. But let's look at why the old one didn't function as it should have.
Thank you. Since Honorable Malabag was elected to Parliament,
he used to be the president.
He used to be the president, and the interim board appointed a interim president, the president of Energy Workers Union, and unfortunately that committee didn't even function too.
Okay.
So Brother John Paske has sort of unilaterally ran the place for the last 5 years.
Okay,
and,
why didn't somebody pick that up and address the matter quickly? Why leave it too late?
That's right. Over the last 2-3 years, there's been requests, there have been discussions why the conference has not been held. And up until last year, we were told that the conference was to be held last year, about October, November came past, December came past, and Brother John particularly mentioned to me that it will be in about February, and I said, relax, you can have it in March, and March has gone past. So the Fool's Day, the unions didn't take it as a Fool's Day. They decided to meet, and our efforts and our pursuit to revitalize the National Center to represent the workers' voice in this country. And Trade Union Congress is the national center of the workers' voice. And when you have it not functioning, or when you have the biannual Congress not having the executive board, not having the proper secretariat, I think the center is not really representing the workers.
No.
And John, recent times you will note that the workers have come up with a lot of issues.
Grievances,
and
yes.
The absence of the Trade Union Congress as a national center representing the workers, assisting the workers, is absent.
Yes.
Is absent.
Okay, let's look at the union movement in this country, the unions that are affiliated to the Congress. How strong are they? How active are they? I mean, they may not have been because the Congress is not in force. But how strong are they out there?
Well, at the moment, I do note that some of the unions in the oil palm, especially in the industries, rural industries area, have collapsed because nobody is helping them. Many in the commercial area, in the metropolitan areas, unions like the commercial union used to be led by Brother late Kanakasi. Yes. Once upon a time was a very, very vibrant little union, little people's union, have collapsed. And we have plights affecting workers in the hotels, in the restaurants, in the shops. Look at the securities. And there is big cries in the ports, at the ports, at the wharfies, at the power, at the telecommunications, and at the airlines. And look at the public sector too.
So what do you think? You think the employers have had a good ride here without unions?
The government and the employers had a good ride. Look at the minimum wages determination. Not many people, not many employers have seriously taken into account the minimum wages. And everybody took into account of the concessions that are in the policy, and they're just applying on the concessions, and they're not paying the minimum wages to the workers. Okay. But nobody's coming out.
All right.
Nobody's fighting.
Okay. The revitalized PNG TUC, I mean, the Congress can I guess have the voice in here. So when is the elections? When is the new full board?
The unions on Friday have decided and have tasked my committee to ensure that the special Congress must be held this Friday, 8th of April.
Okay.
So we've organized everything. The venue, everything has been organized, and the unions will continue to ensure that Friday comes, and trade union officials and leadership and constituents must be elected so that they can represent the workers' voice.
Okay, Mr. Ugwalubu Moana, we are running out of time.
Thank you.
So I wish you well in your endeavors to revitalize this powerful union for the benefit of the workers.
Thank you, John. I call on all the partners to assist us, including the government, Labor Department, everybody. This is the initiative that unions have taken. The center belongs to the nation. It represents an important social dialogue partner, and then we need to move on.
Yep. Good on you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
talking to us.
John.
Thank you very much.
Chairman of the Revitalization Steering Committee to the PNG TUC, Mr. Ugwalubu Moana. Late this afternoon, we talked to John Paske, the General Secretary of the PNG TUC. He described the move by the Revitalization Committee as illegal, also claiming political interference.
Well, John, this is Papua New Guinea, all right? Just last week, people tried to displace the government, all right? Is it unusual? People try to displace all kinds of people in every walks of life in Papua New Guinea, and you know what? The union movement is no exception. In fact, half of the guys that came and spoke to you are also targeted for displacement in their own respective unions.
Okay.
So, these are the things that happen, and you've got to take everything on their face, analyze the rationale for those kinds of actions, and figure out what the real motive is in terms of where they want to go.
Is it politics?
Well, in my view, a lot of it is politics. As you know, last week, this so-called group of coalition of public sector workers' union, led by Moana and three other guys. I call them the Gang of Four.
Okay.
All right, we got gangs also in the union movement, and this is the Gang of Four that is
They now are part of this steering committee,
so-called
revitalization steering
so-called
committee.
steering committee. But what are they steering? I mean, which wheel are they steering? Because in my view, they are illegally formed.
Okay.
They're illegally formed, and I think in that context, it's fraudulent.
Okay.
And a lot of the lands would come down hard on them in terms of, because there is a constituted management board in place. It may not have met, but
And it hasn't met for 4 years.
no, that's the Congress you're
Okay.
talking about, but there's a management board.
All right. Okay.
The Congress in itself is what's known as the biennial Congress.
Okay.
That hasn't met for 4 years.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, John, you know, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. All right?
So they haven't paid their...
They haven't paid.
Okay.
You know, all these guys who are yahooing and doing all kinds of showboating around the place have not paid any toll to the Trade Union Congress. And I've been imploring them to put money where their mouth is and to come and we'll get together and do Congress. And this is not the first time, by the way. This goes back for the last 30 years that I've been in the trade union movement. You know, and you can only swallow so much up to a certain point in time. I worked for 12 years without being paid by the trade union movement in Papua New Guinea when I started off to bring the trade union Congress and the trade union movement back on its feet to ably represent the workforce. A lot of these unions that are making all these noises now were a direct result of the efforts of the Trade Union Congress. In return, in terms of, instead of them coming to properly beef up the operations of the Trade Union Congress, they don't pay their affiliation fees. Let me give you an example. Over the last 5 years, only 50,000 kina came from affiliates throughout Papua New Guinea to the TUC. All right, 50,000 kina for the whole 5 years.
Okay.
That means 10,000 kina a year came to the TUC. John, does it make sense that you can run a Congress?
But how much were they supposed to have paid?
Well, it's calculated on the basis of their membership,
Yes.
their respective membership. They receive good money. Don't make it. I mean, the Teachers Association receives several millions. You know, it has a lot to answer for how it uses that money. In terms of, because I know a lot of teachers are not well looked after right now throughout Papua New Guinea. So there's a few questions that the teachers of Papua New Guinea need to ask their own respective, particularly when they have that volume of money at their disposal. And these are some of the things that has been kept in the dark. And in a way, it's good that they're coming out this way, because it gives me the ability to expose all this rot and all this incompetence that has been permeating the entire trade union movement. All right. The state at which the TUC is in now is you might say a reflection. It is a reflection of the level of commitment or lack of it thereof,
Total lack of it.
lack of it thereof from the respective affiliates. You want to get the Trade Union Congress up and above to ably represent the interests of the workforce, you must fund it. And for most of the time, it has survived on the basis of the sacrifice of the workforce, of the workers of the Trade Union Congress. All right? So that's hard slogging. All right? I mean, personal sacrifices. You want to know about sacrifice? Come and work for the Trade Union Congress and find out how your own guys are able to shoot you down for no apparent reason. All right? Now, some of these guys need to really, really get down to ask themselves, go and stand in front of the mirror and ask themselves, all right, Moana, what have I done for the teachers of Papua New Guinea that I can proudly talk about? Apart from the wages, which every other union can do. What are the other constructive things that you can do? Because a lot of teachers are suffering in Papua New Guinea. And the same can be said about other unions for that matter.
Yes, yes. So this meeting in a few weeks or something to elect new office bearers, illegal, what will happen if they do that?
Well, it depends. I mean, the registrar needs to make a stand,
A position clear
a
on it.
position clear on this. In my view, it would be illegal. And that is because there is still a duly constituted management board, apart from the, the biennial Congress, which is what they're up about. What they're doing is circumventing a particular provision of the Constitution which allows for a special conference to be held. But even there, they are in breach of the provisions of the Constitution. All right? And most importantly, a precondition of being able to hold, to attend or participate in a Congress is your financial status. All right? All of them, nearly all of them, are not financial.
Okay.
So quite apart from the fact that we may not have any money to run Congress, even if you do have, even if I had money, all right, how can I hold a Congress with 3 affiliates? You know, because the only 3 affiliates are financially qualified to attend Congress. The rest of them are not financial. Because the Constitution would immediately be in breach of the Constitution, okay, and in doing so, it would tarnish the credibility of the trade union movement, and make a mockery.
All right, all right.
So
We'll leave it there, and we'll let members and let Papua New Guinea decide on that, what they're saying and what you're saying. Thank you for talking to us.
All right, thank you.
John Paske, the General Secretary of the Papua New Guinea Trade Union Congress. After the break, training of foreign service workers. The need increases as Papua New Guinea's face gets louder internationally.